Welcome to another PC Sports Cards weekly live Q&A. It's Josh with PC Sports Cards. Don't think Zach's going to be joining us today. Going to give people a few minutes to get in here so we could start answering all the questions that we have and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Please excuse any coughing, choking, sneezing, or anything like that. My allergies are still horrible. Started allergy shots, so that's super fun. So I am actually in the office today to do this, unlike the last couple of weeks. So we have a lot of questions here. I'm going to start with the most important question that we had. Let me find it. From my buddy Lee. How are you feeling after this morning's workout? And I'm feeling absolutely horrific. My legs are killing me. I can barely walk. I'm taking tomorrow off, so don't miss me too much, but I'll be back on Thursday. Tomorrow I'll be home. Tomorrow I'm getting a new phone, so I don't have this light issue that I'm having. Tomorrow I'm getting a haircut. Legos are going good. They're all at home. Don't have any Legos. Actually, I have one Lego set here that I have to bring home, but I haven't brought it home yet. So, guys, as always, if you have any questions, toss them down there. We have about 10 or 15 questions from the story post from yesterday, so I'm going to get started on those, and then we can get into this. All right. First question, and you know what? I could look it up on my other phone that has the same account on it, so I could do this for you, so I could say who's asking the questions. We're going to try to save all of these Q&As over on YouTube as well, so we have a history of them there and here. So if you haven't checked it out, check out our YouTube. We post videos 3 or 4 times a week. They're pretty good, I think. So let me see what we have here, so I could say who the questions are from. Rob Franza asked, how long will it take cards returning from my submission to be consigned, I guess? Under 2 weeks. We're under 2 weeks right now. For a while, it was a long time. We staffed up. We hired a ton of people, and we are getting everything up within 2 weeks. So if you mail it in, it could be even faster. Next question, coming from Sports Card Benji. What's your take on Mike Trout's card market now? This might be a longer answer than a simple one. I think we have a buying opportunity. He's definitely down. He's definitely softer than he was for obvious reasons. We saw gold Bowman Chrome go for under 100 grand, which was shocking. And we see his PSA 10 updates all dropping. We see all of his cards going down. They're cheap right now. If you think he's going to come back, great time to buy. If you're not as confident, stay out of it, right? I still think he's a Hall of Famer. I think he's a generational player. I think he's going to come back. If they drop enough, maybe not these auctions that are up this week, but maybe end of the year or winter, I'm a buyer on Mike Trout for next year. This was from my buddy Lauren. Top 1 to 2 year investments for basketball, non-GOATs. Honestly, man, when we're talking, we're not. So I'm gonna do what I normally do, and I'm gonna avoid the question. What I mean by that is, when we're talking about investments, I'm talking about somebody more secure. I'm talking about a Hall of Famer. I'm talking about a perennial all-star. I'm talking about somebody we'd consider a GOAT. When we're talking about younger guys like Luka, Trey, Ja, Zion, Cade, all these guys that are up and coming, we're talking more about speculation. I'm not speculating on a lot of guys. I'm speculating on Trey. I'm speculating on Ja. Those are the 2 guys that I'm pretty deep on. When we talk about investments, I'm buying the same names. I'm buying Magic. I'm buying Duncan. I'm buying Robinson. I'm buying Grant Hill because they're my 4 favorite players. So I look at investing and collecting very similarly. I've invested a lot in Magic. Very profitable for me. I've invested a lot in Duncan. Very, very profitable for me. I've invested a lot in Robinson. He's all up. Grant Hill, all up. And I think those guys will continue to go up, especially if they sign less. So those are the guys that I'd be buying right now. Honestly, I think the best, and I only own 2, I think the best deal are Duncan autographs, which he doesn't sign either. So, like, he's so cheap in general, his autographs are even cheaper. And yes, I own a lot of Duncan stuff, so I'm very honest about that. But I just think it's undervalued. Somebody asked us to show off some national pickups. Honestly, the things we picked up, I don't have them here, so I can't show them off. Maybe I'll make another post about them. I picked up some cool stuff myself. A lot of the stuff that I picked up is back here right now. This is a really good one that I got in a trade. Herbert picked this up in a trade. What else? Picked this Jeter up in a trade also. I actually think this is really good. I think he's going to go up a little bit again. I said this in the YouTube video the other day. I think this is super low. I think any Devin Booker, any Towns, all those rookie year stuff, all that stuff is super low. And I got this Wiggins. These are four of the better cards that I think I got. They're all available, but those are four of the better cards that I think I picked up at the National this year. What's the hobby most in need of right now? It's funny. This is the main topic of the YouTube video yesterday. The thing that the hobby needs the most right now is wax to come down to earth and the product lists to get smaller. I don't have it on this phone, but I showed yesterday on YouTube that from 2015 to 2020 in basketball, we've nearly quadrupled the amount of products. And when you have that much stuff out there, there's just money getting wasted. It also is telling me that those years, like 2013, 14, 15, 16, those years, even Tatum, 17, those years are better value than the current products. Talking basketball specifically. But we need wax to come down to earth. Somebody said card negotiating and trading. I don't know what that means. We could talk about that if you want. But if whoever asked that question or anybody, if you guys want to talk about that, let's make some detailed questions for me to answer. And I'm happy to tell you what I think about negotiating and trading. I used to not like trading at all, and I'm actually coming around to it more for the fact that prices, Hunter, prices need to come down to earth. NT can't be 16K or 18K a case. It's just not worth it. Flawless can't be that high or higher. There's no value there for anybody to break it or for people to join breaks. Everybody's just gambling, and it's just a losing proposition. There's basically no way to make money joining breaks like that. Somebody asked, how long until we see PSA go to 18 permanently on bulk? I'm sure they saw the benefit. I don't think we're going to go to 18 currently. I think Nat said in an interview the other day, something a little bit above 20 is what their goal is. We got 8,000 cards in at 21 when they were doing it at 18. I think we're going to be in the 20 to 23 range in general. I think we're going to see it next month or the month after. I don't know. I hope it comes sooner rather than later. I'm sure they did see the benefit. I'm sure they got a lot of cards. There are a lot of people holding cards waiting for the lowest level to come out, and I think that's the lowest we're going to see. A lot of people are speculating. They think that it's going to be $10 to $15, and I just don't see that happening anytime soon. There's enough desire and enough value at that 18 to 22 range. The reason I say there's enough value is because, let's do a little grading history. Before 2020, if you graded a card and you got a 9 on that card, you lost money. You didn't break even. You didn't make money. You lost money. Sometimes you broke even, but usually not. What a bulk of the hobby now thinks that you can make money or break even at a 9. And for the fact of the matter is 92% of cards that get graded that are ultra modern are 9s or better. So there needs to be some risk or else people are going to send everything in. And we're seeing that $15 to $20 range is usually the premium for lower end cards that get a 9. And I'm talking $0 to $10 cards that you can get $20 to $30 out of. So if you can get $20 to $30 or even $15 out of something that you might lose money, but then you'll get 50 as a PSA. So say it's a $5 card, and you can get $20 out of a 9 and $50 out of a 10. $18 to $22 makes sense as a grading cost. So I think that's like the sweet spot as long as the market continues the way that it is. And I think we're getting to a point where we have a secure bottom on the market. I do think that if wax prices come down, the ability for that to actually go up is better because people will be into the cards for less, right? If that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, that would be great if they, Water Jack, if they could be 90-day turnaround max, that's awesome. Based on how many cards they can process in a month, I think that's a reasonable goal. Especially if we're seeing this 18 to 22 range. I think that's a really good number. Joel agrees, wax overpriced. Lauren, do you think PSA would ever remove upcharges? No, so they will remove upcharges if they make a mistake, if that's the question. But they will always be upcharging, or else everybody's going to send everything in bulk. Everyone's going to send everything in bulk of that instead of getting upcharged and wait, especially if it's under a 90-day turnaround. So in order to get it back faster, that's the whole reason behind it. And the reason they always give is so I lost the, okay, there we go, found it. The reason they give is insurance purposes. We'll all settle for 3-month turnaround times. All right, let's see what we got. Question here. Water Jack, how did the volume you get for $18 value special, which was 21, compared to what you expected? Do you think the value special will have lower volume since some people have been building stacks since the shutdown? Yes, I agree. People were building stacks. I think a lot of people got those out. It's tough for me to answer the question, did I get the volume I expected? Because I wasn't able to charge the same price as PSA. I had to charge more. If I were to charge the same price, I would have expected 20 to 30,000 cards. And I charged more and got 1/3 of that. So that number makes sense. If I'm charging the same price, I expect to get back to the 5,000 to 8,000 cards a week minimum coming back from that I would be getting in. But I think people, like, there's so much product out there that people want to grade. I think people need to be much smarter with what they're grading. And I think people are doing that right now, and they will continue to do it if we keep prices between $18 and $22. If it gets down to $10 to $12, it's just going to be a disaster. Will you be at the Dallas show? And if so, bring me some Dunking cards to buy. Adventures with Six. Unfortunately, I'm not going to the Dallas show. We generally just go to the National. We don't go to a lot of other shows. We may start to go to them. We're talking about some expansion. So if we start doing that, we may be going down there for shows. We may be going all over for shows if we start doing this stuff. So we'll see what happens. You can buy some Dunking cards. I don't have many Dunking cards left that I'd sell in reality. Here's the last one that I picked up. Right before the National, I won this. It's still in the case. It's going to be out of this case soon. Lots of questions today, guys. I really appreciate it. PSA crossover option with the new first look fee currently available. Young_Matt C. It is not currently available. Actually, the pricing needs to change. We were underpricing it, basing it on last year's prices, and I didn't get new prices before I posted it, and then all of a sudden I got a text message saying my prices were wrong. So I have to reprice it, and we're waiting for my developers to put it on the website. Once it's live on the website, I will make a post so it will be available. But they're still amazing prices compared to sending it in and taking any risks. Did you enjoy the trading aspect of the National at your table? So, Lauren, it's fine. I like trading in person more than I like trading online. The fact of the matter is, if I'm trading a card that I think is a better card and getting cards that I don't care about, I just want value. And if you're willing to give that to me, I'm very easy to trade with. If you want my $10,000 card for $10,000 worth of crappy cards, it's frustrating. So I think the thing that I did the best for myself was set that expectation in the beginning of any trade. I do think some trades went my way. I think some trades went the other way. So I was fine with it after the first couple days. The first couple days I didn't want to trade because that's my normal feeling. But after I made the first couple, I was really okay with it. Cardboard baseball stocks. Do you think BGS will become obsolete? I don't know. They have new management there, so it will become interesting to see if they are able to adjust and change. We did put a poll on our story earlier today. about that. Like, what's the next value? And 474 people have looked at the story, and 130 have voted, with 230 have voted, and 67% say BGS is still the best value for your cards outside of PSA. That's a big percentage of the people. So I don't think they're going to become obsolete. I think they are on their way there if they don't make changes, but I think they're going to try to make some changes and try to get themselves back in the game. So we'll see. If they're willing to partner, you never know. Maybe we'll start doing subs again. With the issues BGS had, why did they go to developing a new label? I think they got a lot of complaints about anything that wasn't a silver or gold label, and they wanted to make everybody happy. And they are currently, and they still, for the last 5 years they've been doing this, they are being reactive instead of proactive. So hopefully they start being proactive and figuring out how they want to handle things. We'll see what new management has to do. What do you think of Stranger Things cards in V-Friend Series 2? I have no idea what V-Friend Series 2 is. I'm out on anything related to that. Stranger Things cards could be hot for a minute. It's just like anything else. I think that it's going to be hot and then it's going to sort of fizzle away. I mean, some of the autos are rare, so those people will be worth something. But it's not something I care about. What are your thoughts on the current MJ market? Buy, sell, hold? I would hold. I mean, I'd sell my Jordan if I got the right number, or trade it if I got the right number. Not sure I'd be buying into it right now, but I'm not buying into many markets. Of any market, Jordan rookies are in there, or Jordan Star rookies are in there, or Jordan autos. Like, Jordan is somebody I would buy. I'm still, as long as I get the right numbers, right? As long as I can get the right numbers, I'm a buyer. I'm not buying. I try not to buy at retail, though, obviously, right? Lots of questions today. Any advice for a first-time sub in navigating your website, Hunter? Hunter, thanks for giving us a shot. First of all, I would just read it through. Everything is really well organized on there, and we answer almost every single question you could have. And if you have any questions, there's a customer service button on the top. Click that customer service question, send us an email, and my customer service team will answer you as soon as they can to help you out. But I would say give yourself a little bit to give it an overview. It's really seamless if you know how to use it, and really easy to use. Before COVID, were there any broad market crashes or corrections like around the Great Recession? I wasn't in the hobby in 2007, 2008, so I don't know how it was then. It was always steadily going up. I started my first business in cards in 2014, so it was always steadily going. And I started getting. I was doing stuff in 2010, 11, stopped for a while, and then I started doing stuff again in 2013 around my wedding, and then 2014 I started my first business. And there were no broad market crashes or corrections then. Just slow. There were slow increases. Performance mattered, and Hall of Fame was like a bond. Vintage was like a bond. I think we're going to go back to a model like that where performance is going to matter. We're going to correct down to where levels should be, and then we're going to see what happens. I think a lot of those cards are already down to where the corrected level is, and we're going to see how that goes over the next few months. By next summer, we'll have a real good feel on it. All right. Adventures with Six. What's the proper etiquette as a collector if a person is offering a card to a dealer at a show, but I want the card, I'll pay more? Do I wait or ask if I can make an offer? You wait, right? The proper etiquette is to wait. The proper etiquette is always to wait. If somebody tried to buy a card that somebody was trying to make a deal with at my table, I'd get very upset. People pay a lot of money to be dealers at these shows. A lot of money. Like, shows cost, like, I'll tell you that I didn't finish our numbers yet, or Zach didn't finish our numbers yet for the show this year, but the National in Chicago all-in cost for us last year was north of $30,000. So if I'm making a deal, if I'm spending that much money to be there, and then somebody just walks over who spent $8 to get in, or even if they flew there and spent their own money to get there, that's cool also. But there's a lot of risk that dealers take to set up at these shows, so it's pretty messed up if somebody tries to talk over a deal going on. Joel asked me, "Do you invest in sealed Lego sets?" Yes, I have about 500 sealed Lego sets at home. Lauren asks, "Live or PGA?" Anything Phil Mickelson's in, so live for now, right? Live for now, and then the majors at the PGA. Do you think Topps will stop increasing print runs? If so, when? I don't think they're going to stop, unfortunately. I just don't think they're going to stop increasing it because they sell it, right? I wish they would. We'll see what happens when Fanatics has full control. So we're still a while away from that. With the Mahomes buzz being non-existent in the National and prices having dropped, do you think he might be a buy? I think that he is definitely a buy. I think that we're seeing prices as cheap or cheaper than guys like Herbert, Burrow, and Allen right now. And I think he's definitely a buy. I'm actually going to look for more to pick up soon. Shut up, Ronk. Ronk, 10% fee. Rev, you are on hockey, man. Are you starting to see a pickup on the hockey market with what you are receiving? No, we're not. We don't get a lot of hockey in. We get some. I don't follow the hockey market because I don't like hockey very much. It's the same to me as soccer and tennis and stuff. I just don't follow it. I do think soccer is a good short-term buy right now with the World Cup coming up and the Women's World Cup next year. I think that soccer could be interesting. I ended up getting, let me see where they are. In a trade that I made, I got Pele, and a Pele auto, and I'm holding on to all of those right now because I think soccer's going to go up. Sorry for the sniffles. I know people don't like it. Unfortunately, it is what it is right now. I really hate that I have to do it. I could blow my nose also if you want me to. What are your thoughts on CSG? I think they're trying to matter. CSG's in the same boat as BGS and SGC, where if I'd love to be submitting group submissions to them. Basically, what I want to do is I want to give people whatever option. I want people to have whatever option they want to submit through us and to give them the same exact experience no matter what, which means API integration and a lot of different things going on, which is what we have with PSA. And nobody at all other than PSA has been able to give us what we need. If any other company does, we're happy to partner with them. We want to make it so you can come to us for any of your grading needs, and then we could sell your cards for you. Questions coming hot and fast and furious today. Water Jack, do you PC any Arizona State? So I have this. Tillman 101 auto. I collect ASU 1-of-1s. So I actually have in my shelf over here, I have ASU 1-of-1s. And I have some sick Kalen Balazs stuff, but only because it's Dolphins patches and they're nasty. Want to slab some 1-of-1s to PSA just as authentic? What service level would you suggest? KB Kirk, without knowing who the players are on the cards, I can't tell you what service level to do. I'd probably do the $30 level at this point because unless it's some kind of printing plate that's like a $3,000 card, I would just do the $30 level, especially if they're for your PC, just to have them, right? There's no reason to spend extra money on it. Lauren asked me the biggest card that came to our table at the National. So the biggest card that we saw at the National was a Jordan. It was the Jordan Red PMG jersey number. Biggest card we saw at the National. But it wasn't available to us. I mean, I guess we could make an offer on it, but I'm not spending 7 figures on the card right now. This card was sick, though. Rev, when do you think the next special will drop? Follow up 1.3 million cards in July. Are we getting oversaturated? I think you can take the word getting out of that. That's why the market has dropped. I think the next special is... Let's see what happens. My Lego sets go back just this year. Some from last year and stuff like that, but nothing crazy. Is there a correlation between price of a card you sell and likelihood of non-paying buyer? And yeah, I broke up. Somebody tried calling me, so I messed everything up. Sorry about that. No, not specifically. A lot of the high-end stuff actually does get paid. More of a correlation between like players that people are heavily invested in and trying to keep them up, or certain cards that are like, I'll tell you that most of the time, like Silver Mahomes PSA 10s don't get paid. People are into them for $7,000 to $10,000, so they bid them up and they go away. Right? That's the kind of card that I wouldn't trust any eBay sales on. Most of the time, stuff gets paid. I'd say 5%, 5 to 7% of stuff doesn't get paid. Sorry, Vintage Legends. Repeat the PSA special comments you made. I think the next one will probably be in September. I mean, I know Nat came out and said, I read somewhere that Nat came out and said that he wants to have a permanent option in the 20-ish range, 18 to 22 range, I'm hoping. So they may not even have a special. They may just have that as a set number. I just cracked Cardboard Baseball Stocks. I just cracked the BGS True and submitted the PSA. Does PSA check BGS databases when it research? Absolutely not. Did I ask Pro Steve about his auctions getting shielded? No, I don't talk to Rick very much. Are you adding auto grade service as an option to the site? You know what, Lauren? A lot of people ask for it. I'm going to make a poll, and if enough people are interested in doing something, I will add it to the site. I had to look at the pricing though. Are you buying any Justin Verlander, given the season he's having, plus Hall of Fame career price floor? So be clear for it. It's a great question. I am personally not buying any Verlander. I'm sure there's upside on it. The problem with stuff like that is the card market is, I'm going to say the card market is very much like my wife, right? The attention span is basically zero. And it's like, Justin Verlander could be the best generational pitcher, but it's like, oh, who's that shiny Mackenzie Gore over there? Right? So nobody's going to care about Justin Verlander. They're going to care about Mackenzie Gore or the next young prospect that comes up, or Tyler Glasnow's back. Like, there's no attention span for greatness at this point. But if you're looking long term, then yes, I think Verlander's a good buy. If you're talking investment long term, not trying to flip in 6 weeks or a month or a year, right? If you're looking 5-10 years down the road, sure. If you're looking for tomorrow, then no. I hope nobody makes something out of it and tags my wife in it. She might get upset with me. I have extra bedrooms. I'm okay. Will Wander Franco rebound or fade next season? Fade. I've been fading Wander Franco since he was the number one prospect. How do you think the Soto market will settle? East Coast versus West Coast bias? I don't think it matters anymore. It used to matter what city somebody played in, what that card market was, but the market is so much broader than it was then. It really doesn't matter that much anymore. Soto, I think being in San Diego is a plus for him. It's not a hitter's park, but that lineup, and they could win, man. And not for nothing, Soto and Tatis their prices to me are low in general, but I also think the same thing of them as I think of like a Tua cross-sport comparison. There's no expectations to win. The Dodgers are in the division. The Mets are amazing right now. Knock on wood. I mean, it's the Mets, but I'm a huge Mets fan, but whatever. So they're in a situation where if they don't win it all, it's not a huge deal. But on the flip side, if they win it all, there's a lot of upside. So I think they're both good short-term speculative buys right now and long-term buys. Joel, anything about the show people aren't talking about but you think we need to know? No, the show was great. I mean, the one report I saw before the show is that 55% of people were new in the it was their first time going to a national, which to me means that shows need to be more spread out around the country, which they are now, but the national might need to be more spread out because the national is different than any other show. If we can have 2 of them a year, one on the East Coast or Central and one on the West Coast, that'd be cool. I don't know if it's going to happen. Not for nothing. I don't know what I would do if there was a show like if the National was in San Fran. I don't know what I'd do. Pain in the ass. I have too much inventory to bring and too much inventory to bring back. So I think it was great. I think it was a good show. Running low on questions, boys and girls. Thoughts on PSA July special, year plus or more closer expected turnaround time? I love the Chicago National. Charlotte Prince, thoughts on PSA July special, year plus or more closer expected? Under 5 months. Under 4 months, probably. I would expect that the cards from the July special are back before the end of the year. I mean, if 1.3 were graded last month and 1.3 are graded this month, that means the backlog's basically gone. So I think that my math is telling me that end of January is the latest you'll see cards from July special back. Math. Dallas has huge shows already, so I don't know. Thoughts on stashing young prospects and buying lots of them versus flipping them? Personally, if they're already like, so we're talking two different. I'll answer this question 2 different ways. If it's somebody that just came out, I'm flipping it, right? For example, in yesterday's YouTube video or today's YouTube video, we talked about Ellie De La Cruz. And his Bowman Chrome non-auto is like under $5, and the PSA 10's over $100. I'm getting rid of that because I know it's going to be $40 to $60 in the next 5 months. Because a lot of people are going to be sending it in. You're not the only person sending it in. This is not different than last year or the year before. People are still sending that card in, and people seeing that it's going for $100 are going to send it, especially when there's a $30 level available or an $18 or $22 level available. People are going to send it, so you don't need to hold that. If you're talking about somebody that is low, that there's a lot of them out there, like maybe a Wander, who I don't really like long term, or somebody else like that, and you think you can get a ton of them cheap, and they've already had that initial decline. Basically it's like driving a car off a parking lot, right? Like this is why people lease cars instead of buying cars, because the depreciation is going to be faster on the hotter new model, right? So you want to buy it when it's already depreciated. So you can still do that with these cards. So that's what I would do. I would stash guys if I think that they've come close to saturation in the market already. Will we see soccer market increase if we get closer to the World Cup in November? I think so. Mr. Orange, 25 of 25. I personally think so. That's why I'm holding the Pele stuff that I'm holding. You probably didn't see him before. So yeah, I think we're going to see a bump. I would say the next month or two is a buying time for whoever you think is going to do well in the World Cup. Thoughts on the 51 and 52 mantle after the 9.5 sale? I think people are going to think that it's up a lot when this sale is done, and I think people are buying into mantles right now. I think the card's always going to slowly increase in value. If there's some kind of pop, like if ones go from 40 grand to 60 grand, I think that's short term. Take advantage of it because it's going to come back down. We've seen that with Jordan. We've seen that with Mantle in the past. We've seen that with a lot of guys in the past. So I think that there's the option to sell and rebuy later on. I don't think that an SGC 9.5 that never comes out is an indicator that all the other ones should go up in value, but it is bringing interest in, and obviously the lower grades are more affordable. Feels like it's been a while since the last pump and dump. F1 Marvel, that a healthy thing for? Yes. Anytime there's no pump and dump, it's a healthy thing for the market. I think people are getting smarter about it, and we're also not seeing those new products come out. We'll see what happens down the road. We'll see what the next thing they make is. I'm meaning more high-end, like low-numbered chrome, first auto. Yeah, oh, okay. So if you're talking about high-end, sure. I would hold high-end stuff. So when I talk about lower-end stuff to move, it's to make money, right? If you think somebody's good and you can get an orange or a red or something like that, buy it and hold it for sure. Super. Like if you believe in somebody, we've made some of our biggest wins on selling out of autos, red autos or supers that we bought early on. I mean, look at J-Rod. J-Rod red was 12 grand. They're going for and one just sold for 276. So there's still opportunity there if you believe in somebody long term, especially if you can get into it relatively cheap in the beginning. And cheap is relative to everybody. AT's card. Ever considered doing brakes, maybe high-end brakes, and having service send right away to PSA? We've thought about it. The problem is, I think brakes are overpriced. I think wax is overpriced. And I get a small allocation of wax right now. And the extra work that I'd have to do for that is not worth how much time and energy it's going to cost me. I'd love to partner with breakers that can do that. And we've had some partnerships. We did a bunch of submissions for Leighton. We did submissions from some other breakers. So I'd rather go the partnership route than doing the breaks myself. What cards are you seeing the most in submissions? Also, Select XRC being live this year. Thoughts? Honestly, I haven't looked at a lot of submissions recently. I can ask my guys what they've been seeing a lot of. I would guess we're seeing a lot of Prism, Select, Tops, Bowman Chrome, that kind of stuff. That's normally what we see the most of. I see whatever we see on the reveals. I will not partner with Platt, but thanks for the offer, Ronk. I think yes, Lord. I think Zion is definitely a buy or hold right now, speculatively. We're working on some deals for some big Zions. I'm not sure if it's going to come through or not. We did trade out of our Zion NT BGS 9 at the National, but we got a lot of stuff back, including a Tatum RPA gem, which I like Tatum. I think Tatum's definitely a buy right now also. Yeah, you're on point, Ronk. We're just going to start increasing your costs. Is the National a net positive cash wish for you guys, or is it more build brand awareness? Our goal at any show has nothing to do with buying and selling inventory. It has to do with picking up customers. So usually we make enough money at the shows to cover our costs. Like make a couple deals that make some quick profit to cover the cost. But that doesn't really matter to me. To me, I want to build relationships with our current customers, and I want to get new customers on board that we can grow with and help them grow their business. If you guys become our customer and we help you grow your business, that just helps everybody long term, and that's what our real goal is. This one, sick grade, right? Told you I'm buying to it, guys. I wasn't lying about it. Why is Trey so down? Those two in the reveal today was crazy. Yeah, those are cool cards. Trey's down because they didn't do anything in the playoffs. But I think they're set up to be one of the best teams in the East this year. So if you have the money to buy into Trey right now, I definitely would. I will tell you that I am a little biased with Trey. I do have a little bit of a personal investment in him. These do not include the ones that the business owns also. So I'm definitely a believer in Trey right now. I don't know enough about the hockey market to speak intelligently on it. To me, it's even more narrow than any other market by the 10 best players. I'm okay with Ja going up more also. So, by the way, I don't know if anybody saw this. I posted it on YouTube. Check out our YouTube, guys. We have some great videos up there. But I traded out of my Ja NT BGS 9 because I have this card. This is way better. Yes, it's an amazing card. Would you put your money in sports cards or stocks, True Bowman? So I have, I'll just answer, right? I have money in stocks, sports cards, a sports car, real estate, and I'm looking to diversify into more Legos, and I'm looking to diversify into more businesses or more investments. I wouldn't keep it in just one thing. Honest answer. Joe, I believe in Luka also. I actually believe in all the young guys. I think that the NBA is set up for success for the next 15 or 20 years, just with who's in there now. I don't know about the card market because of how overproduced it is, but, and I mean for those guys, I'm out on NFTs completely. No NFTs. Some crypto, not a ton, some crypto. So no more questions. This will be on our feed, and I'm going to try to save it right so I can post it on our Instagram, guys. We are posting a ton of stuff on Instagram. Check that stuff out. Would really appreciate it. One thing we do, and you guys, people that are on there can attest, we answer as many questions or comments as we can. We like it to be as interactive as this. So check it out. PC_sportscards on YouTube. I could post a link here at some point, I think. Or go to our story and check out the most recent video. I posted a link to it earlier. So, we got 2 more questions and then we're cutting it. Thoughts on the KD nonsense news? I haven't read it yet. Somebody mentioned something about it today because I saw a refractor dime go super cheap. So I'm going to read about it after. I have a call in 15 minutes, and after that call, I'm going to read about it. Got any Burrow or Herbert NT? So we have the NT swoosh of 2 Herbert, BGS 8510. We have a Burrow of 99, barely 3-color patch, BGS 9510. And other high-end Herbert. That's mine. I have these 2 also. This is a 101. This is number 1 of 2. So I think that's it that we have. I also have that. So that's really it. Guys, I appreciate this as always. Look forward to getting on every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Put a story up the day before to get questions. And thanks again for watching. Appreciate it, and see you guys next week.